Yeah, it's episode 2.
Why would people watch us when they could watch like Joey Diaz or like Joe Rogan?
Neither of those guys are Jewish. Drink. Okay, we're back.
You brought up a point outside. So I called them on this earlier. I go, why would anyone watch us over Joe Rogan? And you said,
well, because we're more interesting than Joe Rogan.
But not as guests.
Not as guests. But
That's the whole dichotomy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I get it. It's like we're trying to be in the middle of that. We're trying to be like Joe and his guest.
I think we're just trying to be two friends hanging out. Like, you keep forgetting.
You know what I think? I think that we were supposed to be comedians, and then we didn't do a podcast, but this is now comedy.
Yeah, because we can't be doing
Like, welcome
shows.
to the metaverse. I'm a hologram version of myself.
So I saw comedians posting that they're going to do these, like, avatar shows in a 3D. And I literally was like, what the fuck?
There's a conspiracy right now going around that they're trying to force us into that world.
Into virtual reality. I mean, I would argue that we've been pushing ourselves there. It's not like we're turning down social reality on the internet. We are literally making this so that people follow us on a fake reality, so that they may come watch us in real life. Maybe.
No, I look at it reverse. I look at it for a lot of people that have already seen us, and they're just like, hey, what are these two guys up to? And it's just like the 13 people that have seen us, maybe 12.
13. We've brought out a lot of people to shows. The same 13 will watch this.
You know what's funny? We've brought in comedians, and I won't drop anyone's names, but we've brought in like not white comedians to be like, hey, you bring out the same people all the time. And it's like, no,
these are all
they're just white women.
Like, different white women.
Like they're not even the same. Like, it's not even we bring out just Jewish white women. We bring out like Irish white women and like Native Americans and like, well, I guess natives aren't white, but you know what I'm saying? Italian white women and like
natives.
Portuguese white women. It's just so funny that people will just be like, dude, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
He literally was just like, how do you guys do it?
Well, how do you bring the
How do you
same
get the
women?
same people?
And you're like, no, these are different people.
He literally got so high once. He was just like, after the first show, we're outside, and he's like, yo, all these people stayed for the second show. It's like, these are different people, man. Different white people. Not all white people look alike.
In his defense, he is very stoned.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
but it was so funny that he's like, how'd you get them to all stay? It's like, you've had too much.
Yeah. And if Brandon's telling you you've had too much weed, you've had too much weed.
No, because you learn things from comedians, and you've learned this in the industry of working in the dispensary. I'm a pothead that like, I'm high all the time. I'm not stoned all the time. I'm like functioning high all the time. Go out, I can cook, I can dress myself, I brush my teeth regularly sometimes, like more often than I used to.
I like how that's your metric.
But no, I'm just saying there's some potheads out there that are just like gone.
Yeah.
At all, like, yeah, we'll have conversations. We'll have in-depth conversations, and sure, I don't remember them. But they'll have conversations with some people. I get so when I get really high, you and Ash will be like, both of you have commented, like, you're mumbling.
Yeah, you mumble.
So I
You're
have
like,
to make an effort to talk. When I get so stoned, I'm like a grade 10 doing a presentation for the class level of just being like, hey, babe, Ariel and I just did a podcast. I don't think anyone's going to watch it. I have to do like a Canadian accent, like I'm Andrew Garfield. Or like someone who doesn't speak English, and I have to put it on for you guys.
See, where's this on stage? Because this is fucking hilarious.
And this is such a better element than going on stage in front of strangers and failing.
How often, and this is a genuine question, how often do you think when you riff you fail?
Not as often as when I write material. And
Exactly. So why don't you just riff more?
I only riff.
It's okay to be a riff comic.
I only riff. That's
And
all
then
I've
when
been
the
doing.
riff hits, you write down the riff. And then that becomes a bit. Because it was funny enough to riff. It's funny enough for a bit.
This is Ariel's process, guys.
That is my
We have another show. We're going to change shirts again, and we're going to do joke jams. But this is... How many shirts did you bring?
I haven't.
A third shirt for joke jam? So when you see a third shirt and we do joke jam, this is his process, though.
Yeah, I'll come up with the idea or premise, like just by thought. If I ever make this noise,
The difference between you and me is that with me, I'll just talk. And there's no filter, and I'm just outrageous. Where with you, you come loaded sometimes. Where like you at work thought of something. Like you don't come like, like it's not a freestyle with you. It's just like
It's premeditated
no, but
riffing.
it's not there yet. It's like
Yeah.
you know what you're pulling out is, you know, there's something.
Yeah.
But
I'll
you're
be
not like right there. You're like, where's that guy on stage? And I was like, oh, me being my unconscious self, like, oh, the spectacular Senor Sobel, like that guy, great. But with you, you'll
That's
be like,
who we want.
But you're just like, you'll show up. With
Yeah,
like
I'm
a
like,
little,
that's when I'm like a Bond villain.
Yeah,
Right? I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've got a bit.
I love in conversation with other comics where they're like, oh, I think Ariel's the funniest one. And it's like, no, thanks.
Well, I'm
Oh,
also,
there's two of us.
I'm also, yeah. Well, a lot of people think Robert's still.
Oh, so
just
you're
in
saying
it.
I'm the worst Bubbie's boy. That's what you're saying. I was on a
No, that's
car
not what
with
they
a
say.
comic. You got me a Yucks gig. I was making him laugh in the car, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're funny. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, but Ariel's the funniest on stage.
It's experience. That's all it is.
No, but because of the
I've
insecure
been on stage
shit,
more than you.
because I get insecure, instead of just like being funny and playing it off, I'll be like, well, when Robert was in Bubbie's Boys, he was the worst, right? Like, right? Like, I'm not the worst Bubbie's boy, right?
And it was only that.
Right?
That's the Coke Dad coming out for sure.
Oh, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
We should have done this a long time ago. And good news.
I mean, we tried.
Good news.
We did try.
Episode 2.
Episode 2,
We
we
did
did it. Hey, this is our first episode 2.
Yeah. How many podcasts do you think we recorded?
5.
And
I
then-
know because I have them.
And then what's the best one?
The last one you and I did on that side of the table.
You know what's funny? People are going to watch our podcast and be like, that little one must have autism. Because he's always like, yo, rank the top 5. In podcasts, rank them from 1 to 5. Every episode, I'm just like, yo, draft the podcast, yo.
Yo, I need a numerical sequence
Yo,
of
what's
how
your
good.
favorite 5 colors?
Maroon number 1.
Maroon 5. See what he did there? Yeah, come watch us.
I actually didn't.
Not just stand up.
Maroon is actually my favorite color.
I can't think of a this love can't take me no more. She says, all right.
Okay.
Welcome
Calm down, White Wayne Brady. I can't believe you called yourself the White Wayne Brady.
What
Nobody
would you
has
call
given you that
What would you call yourself?
moniker. You're like, I am the White Wayne
If
Brady.
you had the skill set I had, though, because we will talk. Like the reason I don't bring those skill sets on stage is you've seen it. Once I show people that side of me, jokes out the window.
Yeah,
I
you
can be
can't
this
tell
funny.
bits.
I'm done.
Yeah, you can't tell bits.
Because they're just like, oh, you have a talent. You have a skill. So what
Yeah.
would you call yourself? The South African diet antwort?
The White Trevor Noah.
Why does it have to be the Great White something? Why can't we just be like, why gotta be like Little or Little Dicky? Why can't I just be Bran?
That is what people want. You're the one who you called yourself the White Wayne Brady. Let's go back 3 steps. You're like, why can't I just be me? Yet you called yourself the White Wayne Brady.
So are we gonna call it episode 2 We Did It, or the White Wayne Brady? With no babies, going crazy. In a
Keep going.
Mercedes Benz on my way to bar mitzvah class. Puff, puff, pass like a pack of grass. Even better, flour. Oh
You
my
should-
God, I devour.
You
and
should warm
devour.
up though.
I don't. This isn't what we do. This is the podcast now. Welcome back. Brand's just gonna spit verbs at you.
I mean, you just did. I was sitting here minding my own business, and you started rapping at me.
I remember it that you were just like, "Hey, White Wayne Brady, the people want to hear it," and I was like, "They ain't
Oh,
ready."
did I? Okay.
You were like, "Hey,
that sounds like
you were
something I was
Mr.
saying.
White Wayne Brady, sir,
No, it's way funnier.
sir, Mr. White, can you do us the honor and the privilege to
Okay,
rhyme?"
no, do it like me. You can do a good Ariel impression.
Hello, mate. I'm Ariel Kagan. It's
me
me,
laugh.
Ariel Kagan, mate. All right. So today on Tootin' Bubbie's Boys, I want to call it Coke Dad so I can relate to people. My own mother, Mrs. Woods, called me today and says what she says.
She didn't call me
says-
today, but like,
She says,
because I've been putting out clips. She calls me and she's like, I think I figured out what the problem to your stand-up is. She goes, you're not relatable.
welcome back to Brando's vlog. Today we're here live with Ariel, whose own mother thinks that he'd be better at comedy if...
I was more relatable. And a part of me's like, mad at her. You know, because it's like, who made me unrelatable? Who taught me how to be who I am? You, lady.
And this is the funniest part of Bubbie's Boys, is that Ariel's extremely unrelatable, but I'm super relatable. I'm that guy who's
Yeah,
like,
you
hey,
are.
do you ever have a younger brother that like just didn't, he may have autism, you know, things like that. So you think people are going to pay money because we're funny, and you think our humor is like hot naked girls on the internet. Like OnlyFans. Like OnlyFans women think that they have a chance against porno. You can go right now on this computer and we can just stream free porn. But then there's now a site where it's like, hey, you know what's hotter than porn? And girls you don't know faking it? Girls you do know kind of enjoying it. So you're thinking our humor, but that my funniness is like a girl that is like, what $19.99 a month? What is it, $10 a month? What do you think my humor's worth? Offstage, brand.
I would say $10 a month.
What do you guys think? Write comments. I want people to write comments. What do you guys think Ariel and I is funny? Not, okay, haters, I get it. On stage, especially other comics. On stage, great. You're funnier than me. I get it. I'm not ever going to say otherwise. I'm actually, if you know me and we're friends, I'm proud of you. And even the people I don't know well, I'm proud of you too. And I appreciate it. And I'm glad we get to share this community together. But off stage, bring it.
Okay, come back. You just did a fucking rat. Like, come on down.
I don't even know. I blacked out.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
I was talking about, we were talking about how much you think our comedy's worth.
Yes. I think our comedy
has value.
I wanted to make the point that, like, firstly, let's go back quickly. I don't think you understand the problem with free porn. The reason why OnlyFans works is because by not putting money to it, you're just consuming something without thinking about it, right? It's like a free comedy show. What is the worst audience
ever
at a comedy show?
A free comedy show.
A free comedy show.
Because there's no value.
There's no value. So you can apply the same concept to porn.
We actually have merch. Ariel gives you a terms and conditions form, and you read it and sign it. And then if you like,
you get to keep it. Please frame it.
No, you get the merch if you've enjoyed the terms and conditions. Once we have a bunch of these, and if anyone who knows me, I'm that guy, and we're gonna have some weird like.
We're gonna have weird sponsors. Remember when you got Habibi Papers to sponsor us?
Made in China.
Made in China, Habibi Papers.
At a Jewish comedy show.
Yeah, it was the best.
If you're just tuning in right now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut out the last thing we just talked about, and we're going to put it on Patreon. What we just did is we just talked about Robert Cackham, how we missed him, the conversation, how we dabbled with the idea of naming the comedy club Cackhams.
Cackhams.
What we're going to do is we're going to have on our Patreon just some nice memories of him. But on this podcast that you all hear in the public, fuck that guy. You know, like that guy gets none of our love. He left us. Like, yeah, pay money. I know for a fact that if Robert himself is going to be wanting to hear the nice things we said about him in the stories,
he would have to
pay for that Patreon with the rest of you, his little fans, whatever's going on. Robert's world. If your girlfriend is listening, she wants to hear nice things we said about him. But that's the end. I'm going to say it right now. We do not talk about Robert Cackham on this podcast. Subscribe to our Patreon for Robert Cackham stuff.
We're Bubbie's boys. This is Coke Dads.
Why?
That's a mouthful.
Coke Dads is funny, but like, why didn't we go with like the Preemie Boys? What was the third one?
I'm not doing a third logo.
What was the third one though? It was Preemie Boys. It was Coke Dads. It was Bubbie's. There's a third really funny. Like, what do we have in common? We both went to private school with non-Jews.
With Jews.
Yeah, we both hung out with a lot of non-Jews growing up. We both grew up in third world country. We both.
You're really underestimating what a third world country looks like.
No. We both of our dads partied. Can you tell the audience of what your dad was trying to invent?
They say he died of a coke overdose, but really what he died of was a pulmonary embolism, which is an air bubble popping in your head. And he got the air bubble in his head because he cut Viagra into his coke, which is fucking genius.
So he tried to snort.
He tried to solve coke dick. And I'm just mad he didn't get it right. I'd be so rich, dude. I'd be getting some of that Pfizer money right now, you know?
What year was this?
It was 20 years in December.
So it was good coke.
Yeah, it was good coke.
It was good coke, and it was trial Viagra.
Yes.
What would he call it? Coke-ragra?
You think after he died, we talked about it?
I think after he died,
you know, that's when I found out, right? He was already dead.
I think you were called into a room, and a TV was pulled out. And your dad was like, "Hello, mate. It's me. It's Ariel's puppy. We're here. For my oldest son, I leave a deck of magic cards. You fucking wanker. Your mumsy. Sorry about all the syphilis and stuff. I'm really, really sorry about it. I gave you 2 kids, I guess. Whatever. Fuck you, mate. No money for you. But for Ariel, here's what I got. Boy, here is the recipe from your great-granddad. It's the Viagra cocaine recipe. It's going to make you millions."
I like how he's English to Irish.
To Scottish. But mate, we have some great. It's a fantastic. You're going to love it. You take 3 parts Viagra and 1 part cocaine or your brain will explode. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you coming.
Coke Dads.
Bubbie's
Episode
Voice
2.
presents.